New video, everyone. Welcome to almost the end of March. Okay, today we are heading to the daily heroic story known as the Prime's Path. And we're going to talk about what's new in space and Destiny. So if you've been following Destiny at all, you know that the big news is the Age of Triumph coming tomorrow, Tuesday, what is that, the 28th of March? Really big deal. Basically, it's Bungie's farewell to Destiny 1. Lots of new items, lots of new armor pieces, and a record book. So if you look here, a lot of the Destiny events come with a book full of achievements and things that you can work toward and rewards for doing so. And there was a Moments of Triumph celebrating the end of the second year of Destiny, which I didn't complete because I wasn't able to do one of the raids in time. But the new record book for the Age of Triumph will celebrate all of your achievements across all of your characters across the entire game. So I'm really looking forward to that, to seeing what... I haven't done this mission in a long time. Let me change a few things. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what the book has for me, what I've completed, what's not. It should be really interesting. And yeah, it's going to be really exciting, actually, just to work my way through the book. So here we are on the red planet of Mars. I can't remember if Phobos or Deimos is bigger. I should know this, but ooh, there you go. So that's pretty exciting. We're also getting updates to things like the raids. The raids are being slowly touched up and having some new aesthetics, maybe some mechanical balances, stuff like that. There's new armor that Bungie has been showing off for quite a while, different armor sets that reflect the different... ooh, there's an event coming. I might do that. Different armor and things that reflect... ooh, eliminate the target. I don't know if I can. Yeah, that reflect the different aesthetics and design of the raid, so that's really interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this guy with my current equipment, but I'm currently running with a kind of a strange set of equipment right now. I didn't really change it. I'll talk more about that in a moment. Oh, if I don't die first. Oh, right into a corner. And if I don't die, this might be a good move. There we go. Wow, that guy just teleported. It's... Only here in Embrace Destiny you see the most exciting gameplay. There we go. I love these events. I love that other Guardians can, you know, chip in and help. And that's another thing, actually. There's been a lot of... another thing that's new with Destiny is there's been a lot of leaks, or possible leaks, this week. If you've been following any of that, basically there have been a number of different video game outlets in, I believe, Italy and Germany that have possibly shared details concerning Destiny 2. So posters and websites for different aspects of the game seem to show that the Destiny 2 will be out September 8th for the PlayStation and possibly September 30th for the computer, for the PC. You know, none of this has been made official yet. I feel kind of bad for Bungie in a way. Here they are trying to promote their Age of Triumph, their last hurrah, and they're obviously focusing publicly, at least, on this. But then these leaks or possible leaks happen, and you know, they draw attention away. I mean, obviously, all press is good press, especially for a sequel, and Bungie has a bit of a history of kind of revealing, you know, of unofficially revealing what they're doing. There was the leaked Rise of Iron poster from last year, which they claimed was not real, and then suddenly it was very real, and it became the next update. So yeah, a lot of the community is pretty much convinced that Destiny 2 will be out in September. So we'll have to wait for that and see if that is true. Something new for this channel. I'm running with a weird set of gear, as I said at the beginning of this video, and the reason is because I actually soloed Crota's End this weekend. So Crota's End is one of the first raids offered in Destiny. The raids are those really difficult 6-person designed missions that are usually end game material. You know, killing Crota, the main bad guy in the early part of Destiny, or killing Oryx, his father, and yeah. So I'm at this weird kind of stage with Destiny where I'm doing fairly well in the Crucible, well enough that I sometimes find it a little boring. Not that I'm amazing, but you know, if you get first, second, or third pretty consistently in the Crucible, it it can be a little bit repetitive. But I'm at this weird stage where I'm good enough to do that, but not good enough to do something like a flawless run through the Trials of Osiris, the really, really hard multiplayer arena. And the same thing goes for player versus environment. When I'm fighting against the computer here, I'm good enough to find most stories and most strikes easy, child's play, but not good enough to have beaten all the raids yet. So yeah, I tried pushing myself this weekend, and thanks to the fact that your progress in raids, by the way, is saved through the week. So thanks to that, I was able to do a little bit at a time over a couple of days, and I finally beat it. So, hooray! It's a pretty challenging mission. It's as I was explaining to someone recently, it's not difficult in terms of the monsters and stuff are not really that difficult. It's just that you have to balance a lot of things all at once. So I had to switch my gear up. I even went with a sniper rifle, which you may not realize this, but I've probably played almost an entire month's worth of Destiny in a row, that many hours, and it was only yesterday that I decided to use a sniper rifle on my Titan. Just because I'm not a fan. I'm not usually a fan of sniper rifles in games. It's just not my playstyle. But there were a number of instances in that raid where a sniper rifle made everything a lot easier. It's kind of fun to just sit back sometimes and watch one alien race fight another. I don't know. Is that wrong? Is that sick of me to say? I mean, they're not real. But whatever. Bring the hammer down. Maybe I should have waited until I was more surrounded. But I wouldn't be a Guardian without a wanton display of power, would I? So, okay, that's enough about that. Half of the title here is what's new in space as well as Destiny. So let's talk a little bit about some things that are going on for space. Well, not too long ago, the ExoMars rover started its aerobraking cycle. So what do all those words mean in combination? Basically, hold on. ExoMars is a European mission to orbit and/or land around the red planet here, and measure the atmosphere, measure the soil. I believe one part, the Trace orbiter, is actually orbiting the red planet in order to better understand the very thin atmosphere of Mars. So Mars doesn't have as thick of an atmosphere as this game would suggest, but it does have enough of an atmosphere to hold moisture and produce rain, and, well, not exactly rain, but a kind of precipitation in the in the high atmosphere. So that's kind of interesting, and that's what the orbiter is up to, and it is currently orbiting around 400 kilometers from the red planet, which is about the same altitude, by the way, as the International Space Station is orbiting the Earth. And recently they started their aerobraking maneuver. So this is kind of cool. Basically, they wanted to orbit a bit closer to the planet, because if you know anything about photography, generally the closer you are to a subject, depending on your lens, of course, the better the resolution of your camera. So I'm not that great with a sniper rifle, as you see. So they want to orbit a bit closer than the 400 kilometers that they're currently at. And in terms of orbital mechanics, you don't just you don't just fly straight down. You have to change your orbit. And if you were to do that using traditional methods, propulsion or thrusters or whatever, it requires fuel. Fuel that they didn't want to take with them, because the more fuel you take with you, the heavier your craft is, the more expensive, blah blah blah. So they are, what they're basically doing is they are allowing the orbiter to gently touch the atmosphere of Mars every orbit that it goes through for the next year. By the way, it's going to take about a year for this to happen. Oh, hello. Let me get out of here. Yeah, so they're going to gently touch the atmosphere of Mars, which is not very thick, as I will remind you, not very dense. And as they do this over the course of a year until next, not like the September 2018, they will lower their altitude down to 100 meters above the red planet. So that's pretty exciting. So you can keep looking at that on different various websites. What's next? A group in, I believe, somewhere in the western United States is working on a propulsion system for small sats. So basically, there are different kinds of satellites, and the recent revolution in satellite manufacturing technology are the small satellites. Anything smaller. Most satellites that go up are the size of a school bus. Either the large, the double, or the single-sized short bus. And here we go. Most satellites that go up are that size, and they have been traditionally that size forever. But recently, in the last 10 years or so, people have really invested a lot of time and research into small sats. Anything from, particularly the CubeSat model, which is basically a 10 by 10 by 10 centimeter cube that can then be connected with other cubes. So, for example, the most popular small sat configuration at this point is a 30 centimeter long 10 by 10 centimeter satellite that is capable of Earth observation and satellite communication and such. But the problem with that is that when you pack everything into that small, I mean, you can fit an iPhone in there, you can fit some cameras in there, but the problem that they've been having is not being able to actually maneuver these satellites. They're just too small for a conventional thruster. So, this group is actually working to develop these tiny dime-sized salt-powered thrusters that may help small sats change their orbits, and that's pretty exciting. I mean, more capabilities for satellites, obviously a good thing. It broadens what... Ooh, this guy keeps teleporting me right here. It's like he misses me. I understand. Yeah, so more powerful small sats could be coming our way in the next few years, so that's pretty exciting. Speaking of satellites, SpaceX is looking to launch another one later this week, and this is actually really interesting. So they're planning on launching a communication satellite for a company called SES. They're one of the largest satellite communication companies in the world. They operate out of Luxembourg as well as the United States, and the launch of the launch of their satellite for SpaceX by this point would just be, another day at the office. But a really exciting aspect of this is that SpaceX is looking to finally relaunch one of their first their first stage boosters. So obviously, if you've been paying any attention to SpaceX in the last year or so, you'll know that they've been really pushing for their reusable rockets. So what they do is they have a 2 or 3 stage rocket, and basically 2 or 3 parts stuck together like Lego. And after it launches, the first part, the part that actually carries the main thrusters, they've been landing them back on Earth. Both SpaceX and Blue Origin have successfully landed a first stage back on Earth. And in SpaceX's case, they've done an ocean landing as well. So, SpaceX is doing this because they are convinced that landing their first stage of their rocket and reusing it over and over and over will actually drop their costs. And I mean, top level, it kind of makes... Oh, hello. Oh my god. Top level, it makes sense. If you don't have to rebuild the first stage over and over, or if you don't have to pick it up out of the ocean and haul it back to your facility, then yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to save you some money. But in terms of the real analysis, it's still contentious. We don't yet know for certain if this is going to save them money and make the launches any cheaper, but it's definitely an exciting opportunity. And I grew up on watching Star Trek, where you see the shuttles. Hold on, I'm gonna die. Don't do it. Yeah, I grew up on Star Trek, where you watch the shuttles like constantly land, on the ground and lift off no problem. So if we're getting anywhere close to that kind of capability, then I am completely interested. And finally, if you're an astronomer, the how do I pronounce that? The Atacama Array of telescopes in South America is looking to... They're looking to view a black hole, which might sound a little counterintuitive, but basically, astronomers have to actually view a black hole, not just the effect it has on space, if you had a sensitive enough telescope. So what they are doing is they are taking basically a kilometer-long array of telescopes, and they are lining them up to make it appear as if it were one giant telescope. And they're going to use this to try and view a black hole. That will probably be starting next week, that they'll be doing this. Which is pretty amazing. I mean, black holes were first discussed about in the 1700s, and they've obviously held a popular place in science fiction for a long time, but to be actually able to see them, just to give you an idea of the resolution, we were talking about that earlier, resolution of this array is such that you could basically pinpoint a grape on the surface of the moon from Earth. So if you can do that, you should be able to see a black hole that's larger than, several times larger than our star. Anyway, let's wrap this up. There we go. If I don't die here from all these guys. And there we go. That is what is new in space and Destiny. Destiny's Age of Triumph is coming tomorrow. There will be a lot of videos, I'm sure, and maybe I'll post something later in the week about that. Interesting space news as always. The business and technology is always moving, trying to, bring us to the golden age, perhaps, that Destiny so enshrouds. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and listening. I'm going to be posting some links below if you want to follow them. In terms of this channel, in terms of things that are coming up, in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going to be streaming the King's Fall raid. So if you've been following this channel at all, maybe about a month or two ago, I tried to beat the King's Fall raid with some friends, and we only got about halfway through it because we didn't really know what we were doing, and it was pretty challenging. But we're going to try that again. It's going to be kind of a birthday party of mine with a bunch of friends, and I'll put some links down below. So feel free to come on back if you want to like or subscribe. That would be great. Leave a comment. I always look forward to feedback. And if there's any other kind of space-related thing you'd like to know more about, drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to follow up on that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you out there. Bye now.